The plainest Jane. This is one of my favorite comments here. She says, I loves me some black, and she said, loves me some black news. She says, is it just me, or does anyone else get tired of seeing people that don't look like them delivering info about them day in and day out?
I'm your girl, the plainest Jane, and let's see what's happening in these virtual streets. You ready? All right now. This could be a crazy ride. I'm warning you now. What up and welcome back. It's your girl Jane, the plainest Jane, and y'all know I serve in the form of black news and celebrity entertainment over here on this channel. Listen, I have missed y'all so much. I know it's late. I'm gonna wait for a couple of y'all to come into the room, but look, I'm excited to be here with you all this evening. Okay, let me know you can see and hear me. Okay, I got my microphone in a bit of a different place. Okay, so we have a lot that we need to get into, and I have a list of things that we shoulda, coulda, woulda been discussing instead of Jaguar, right? And don't get me wrong, I respect the hustle. I've spoken about Jaguar, right? But I said, you know what? I've done like 3 Jaguar videos in a row, even though one of them, it was Jaguar mixed with news. And I made sure I got into 6 different news topics before I talked about Jaguar, just to get more people in the building, just so that I can get them to understand and get them to listen to the news, because I put Jaguar in the title. Okay. But there's more going on in the world, right? And so I understand, like, Jaguar, she brings in the views, but it's other stuff happening too. And so I think that a balance is required. And I was determined, okay? I was determined, shout out to everybody in the live chat. I was determined that before I went live again, I was talking about something other than Jaguar, right? I was determined. I said, you know what? I'm following the Jaguar stuff closely. Don't get me wrong, because it's entertaining and sad at the same time. If I'm being completely honest, like, it's entertaining and it's sad. But I'm like, you know what? I cannot flood my channel with Jaguar stuff. Gets a lot of views, gets a lot of subs, to be honest. Okay, lots of subs. But I said, you know what? Like, subscribers, numbers, views aren't what's most important to me. My goals, my dignity, my ethics matters more than milking Jaguar for clicks, views, and subs, right? And that's just me, but I understand the people who are aligned a bit different, and they're just going to get subs and views by any means necessary. Me, I'll take the hit. I know when I talk about certain things and certain people and topics that aren't as salacious, that aren't about, you know, celebrity mess, that's strictly black news, people are not going to click on those things. Hell, even the time I'm going live right now, this video probably doesn't even stand a chance. It's 2:34 in the morning. It's almost 2:45 over here in Baltimore stand up, but I have to do what suits me and what helps me sleep better at night. And when I feel my best and when I am my best, that's when I'm gonna come live, and that's when and what I'm going to present. So look, it is what it is. Okay. I'm glad you all are here. Shout out to all of you. All right. And so we got some things that we really need to speak about this evening. Speaking about Jaguar, right? Just hit the brakes real quick. Jaguar, right, recently, and we're going to be backstage talking about this either after this show or sometime later today, which some people might consider to be tomorrow. Jaguar Wright ended up calling the crisis hotline, trying to get her husband Goomba taken in by the VA. And this is a control and a manipulation tactic on her part, because he won't speak to her. He's like done with the relationship. And so she feels like, well, if you're not going to call me by 3 o'clock today, then I'm gonna just have you admitted, and I'm gonna call the crisis hotline and tell them you're trying to delete me. And so it seems that that has backfired on her. And the call that she made to the crisis hotline, it was out of this world. Like, the level of rudeness and disrespectfulness Is disrespectfulness a word? I don't know, but y'all get what I'm saying? It was ridiculous, and it backfired to the point where they think that she's trying to delete herself. Okay. So it's like she thought that she was going to try and sick, the peoples to come, collect him and bring him up and either arrest him or put him in a facility, when whole time that's what they're trying to do to her, because that call that she made to the crisis hotline operator, particularly, it alarmed them, and they feel like she is a threat to not only herself, but others. But we'll talk about that backstage. We'll talk about that. Okay. Yes, hit the like button as you come in and find a seat on the bus. So listen, y'all know things are always sticky in Hollywood and in real life. Okay. Jaguar will drive you nuts if you don't unplug from her for a second. Because following her antics, Jaguar has nothing but time. She don't have a job, right? So she goes live, and you gotta look at 3, 4, 5 hours of footage a day, because that's how often she's live, in order to really understand where we are in the saga and to report on it in a way where you understand the full scope and everything that's going on, right? That's a whole nother conversation. And I decided I want to put her on the back burner, right? And I want to talk about things that are affecting us, things that are relevant to us as Black people. Y'all know I prioritize Black people like that. That's just what we do. Shout out to Taurus. Taurus here. Thank you for coming through. Let's get in. Disrespectfully is a word. Okay, gotcha. Hit thumbs up, have a seat on the bus, choose your seat, put your seatbelt on, because we might be moving at a speed or a pace that you just ain't ready for. Okay. So shout out to everybody in the live chat. Special shout out to all of my channel members and my moderators. Okay. And let's go ahead and get ready for takeoff and get into the Black news that we need to discuss. You see what the title is. We're talking about Chick-fil-A banning children under 16 years old. We're talking about the effects of racism on Black women and their health. We're talking about a Republican representative in Tennessee who actually feels like lynching should be brought back. Hanging from a tree is exactly what he said explicitly. He didn't even say lynching. He said, I want to bring back hanging from a tree, right? In his country accent. We're going to talk about issues under the flag, some of these drag shows in front of children. I know it's a touchy subject. I know it's easy to get called phobic when you hold portions and sectors of the LGBT community, because it ain't all, it's some, but you hold a portion of them to, when you hold them accountable and you hold them hold their feet to the fire, you're phobic. No, some of this stuff is wrong. We're going to talk about that too, beyond this Z Cup teacher that we see here on the thumbnail. Chris Rock is oddly still a year later, in some odd way, fetishizing Will Smith. GloRilla, throwing her in there for good measure, but also to speak about some of the negative influences or impacts that Cardi B actually puts on Black people, Black artists, Black media, and she's not even Black. So listen, let's get ready for takeoff, and let's really get into some Black news this evening. And shout out to everybody who's here this evening. Shout out to y'all for hitting the thumbs up button, and most importantly, shout out to you for sharing the stream. Let's get started.
thePLAINESTjane. This is one of my favorite comments here. She says, I loves me some Black, and she said, loves me some Black news. She says, is it just me, or does anyone else get tired of seeing people that don't look like them delivering info about them day in and day out?
All right, so we're back, and there are also some other things that we need to discuss as well pertaining to Black news. I'm just not able to list them all off on the itinerary as we get started. So let me make this a little bit bigger for you all, okay? Chick-fil-A. Select Chick-fil-A's have decided that they are banning children who are under 16 who do not have a chaperone for quote unquote unacceptable behavior. Okay, I want to show you this sign that was on the door of this Chick-fil-A in particular. And I want to give you the backstory. Now, this is a Chick-fil-A that it's not all Chick-fil-A's. Let's go ahead and start there. It's not all Chick-fil-A's, but it is one in particular. And so I want to go ahead and I want to get into this news clip first, and then we'll go over everything that this location listed off as its reasoning and rationale for deciding to not allow children under the age of 16 in their establishment without a chaperone.
A Montgomery County Chick-fil-A ruffling a lot of feathers tonight over its new policy. Hank, they say anyone under the age of 16 can no longer eat inside of the Royersford location without an adult?
Oh, that's pretty much it, Sheba. Listen, it's been a mellow afternoon here at the Limerick Royersford Chick-fil-A. No kids running around screaming. No one slamming packets of sauce into the walls. It could be that it's Monday, or it could be this new rule.
I'm sorry. First and foremost, get into this newscaster and the way he's speaking. No more slamming packets upside the wall. Okay, buddy.
The Limerick Royersford Chick-fil-A. No kids running around screaming. No one slamming packets of sauce into the walls. It could be that it's Monday, or it could be this new rule. No one under 16 eats alone in the dining room without a parent. You can still eat here, Sheba, but I'm going to need to see some ID.
I mean, I heard that they're just coming here and like wrecking stuff. Like they'll take the ketchup packets and go in the bathroom and slam them in the seat. They're doing it out here in the parking lot.
Nicole Carter's heard nasty things about kids acting up at the Limerick Chick-fil-A off the Royersford 422 exit. New rules. No one under 16 permitted to eat in the dining room without a parent. Nicole says it's no mystery. You get what you bought yourself.
You never know what actually goes on, but there's obviously some issues if they're making a rule.
The Chick-fil-A location's Facebook post says it didn't want to make the change, but parents dropping their kids off at places like the trampoline park and leaving them unsupervised creates problems like volume, mistreatment of property, mistreatment and abuse of employees, and unsafe behavior. Think about it for a second. Are these your children?
It's a shame.
Hold up, yo. This newscaster got me on a trip. Think about it for a second. Are these your kids? Just like from the beginning, he's wild to me. Like,
A Montgomery County Chick-fil-A ruffling a lot of feathers tonight over its new policy. Hank, they say anyone under the age of 16 can no longer eat inside of the Royersford location without an adult?
Oh, that's pretty much it, Sheba. Listen, it's been a mellow afternoon here at the Limerick Royersford Chick-fil-A. No kids running around screaming. No one slamming packets of sauce into the walls. It could be that it's Monday, or it could be this new rule. No one under 16 eats alone in the dining room without a parent. You can still eat here, Sheba, but I'm going to need to see some ID.
I mean, I heard that they're just coming here and like wrecking stuff. Like they'll take the ketchup packets and go in the bathroom and slam them in the seat. They're doing it out here in the parking lot.
Nicole Carter's heard nasty things about kids acting up at the Limerick Chick-fil-A off the Royersford 422 exit. New rules. No one under 16 permitted to eat in the dining room without a parent. Nicole says it's no mystery. You get what you bought yourself.
You never know what actually goes on, but there's obviously some issues if they're making a rule.
The Chick-fil-A location's Facebook post says it didn't want to make the change, but parents dropping their kids off at places like the trampoline park and leaving them unsupervised.
now that's one thing I do want to tune into, because sometimes you have surrounding establishments that bring bad business or bad behavior to surrounding restaurants. I've been to a couple establishments, restaurants, bars, whatever, and they say that they never want to, and they own a couple of different like bars or restaurants, and they say, I don't ever want to be by a bus stop, because when you have a bus stop, you have people of all walks of life, and sometimes they come in as soliciting, they want money, they want this. And so sometimes business owners choose their location based off of what's around. And so I totally understand the bus stop thing. Like, I get it. You know, you have people of all walks of life riding the bus. And if there's a restaurant nearby and a bus rider doesn't have what they need, the business will suffer by the behaviors of the people who ride public transportation. And that's no shade, no tea, no discrimination. It's just a matter of what you want to keep in and out of your business. And so if there's a trampoline park in the same parking lot across the street, that's not even across the street, that's in the same parking lot as this Chick-fil-A, and children are frequently dropped off there, there's going to be some overflow of, you know, the business and the people who patronize said establishments, and the business is the one who's going to suffer. So if teenagers frequent the trampoline park, and then Chick-fil-A has to suffer because it's nothing but teenagers without parents doing whatever they want to do, listen, I totally, does it seem discriminatory? Yeah. I mean, someone said, who's just dropping their kids off? You talking about a trampoline park. It could be, we're all meeting up at 12, like every time, especially, again, we're talking about teenagers who are 15 years old. When you were 15 years old and you wanted to go, at least me, or a roundabout in general, and we're living in a different time. 15-year-olds aren't really going to party at a place with all of their parents sitting there. And then whoever the main parent is sitting there when it's over, and your parent might be, let's just say you're 15 and you're attending, and your parent is like, call me when it's done, right? But when it's really done, you're not calling your parent so that they can pick you up. You're funneling off into the surrounding businesses. Like, it does lead to people going in other places. I know if I was 15, if I woke up and I was 15 tomorrow or 14 tomorrow, and my mother dropped me off, okay, it's a party, your little friend, sweet 16, whatever the case is. And my mother said, call me when it's over. I'm not calling her as soon as the party ends. No, I'm going to go with my friends across the street into whatever businesses I can find to extend the time that we have when we're not in front of our parents. You know what I mean? So, it can be a problem, regardless of how you think or whatever the case is. But, surrounding businesses do suffer from the people around about the area where these places are located. It sucks. It sucks. My question is, what color are the people or the children that are the problem? Because the way that they're going in, and making these rules and whatever, I don't know. Let's finish watching the news clip and let's see what type of energy you get from this.
Creates problems like volume, mistreatment of property, mistreatment and abuse of employees, and unsafe behavior. Think about it for a second. Are these your children?
It's a shame. I think if kids could act a little bit more appropriately, I think that they would understand that they can dine out in peace, have a good time. Everybody just wants to have, a nice time, and I think it's a shame.
When I was 15, 16, I was a nervous kid out there in the world. But these kids today with the internet and then what they see on social media, they're driven differently.
The good news, if there's any, it might just be a couple of bad apples.
Most of the kids are good. There's like one group that makes it rough.
Jill DeBlas owns the Hallmark next to the trampoline park. Kids come in for candy. Most of them are great, she says, but she knows the rowdy ones. Says it's a core group of about a half dozen.
They just run around there, and they scared one of our customers so bad that she actually called the police. Mm-hmm.
How did they scare her?
They just came in running, and it's like she was getting ready to leave, and she was afraid to go out to her car. And then later on, they were running up and down the parking lot.
You know, guys, a lot of people asking where are the parents, of course, but most of these Chick-fil-A locations are individually owned, meaning that they can set up their own regulations. Chick-fil-A National wouldn't tell us much more than that. The Limerick police told us that they would not be adding patrols to the area over the weekend, but think about it, guys. Restaurants are public places that are privately owned. When you go into Center City and you see fewer Wawas now, you got an Italian restaurant in Toms River that's instituted many of the same regulations. When you have nice things, don't treat them well or behave well within their confines, you'll lose them. And we are live out here in Limerick. Jason.
Yeah, add Chick-fil-A to a long list of businesses that are, not allowing kids to behave this way anymore. All right, Hank, thank you very much.
Rolex on your wrist, plain Jane.
And so that's where we are with this. I can't say that I'm upset whether they're black, white, blue, purple, Indian, Muslim, whatever they are. I really can't blame them. Because kids without chaperones, kids without their parents around, sometimes they can do the most. I remember when I was still in high school and even middle school, there was like a 7-Eleven in the area between actually the middle school and the high school that I went to. And at some point, they wouldn't allow us in there. As a matter of fact, the rule was two kids with a backpack, right? And all kids have a backpack. No more than 2 kids with a backpack allowed at once. Because there was such this stealing, shoplifting, and just really bad behavior. And I totally get it. Are you supposed to take losses as a business just because you don't want to seem discriminatory for or towards children? Regardless of what color they are, they stealing. Whether you're black, white, Indian, or blue. If you stealing and you're affecting my bottom line, then I need to put something in place too. And the cops weren't willing to stand there every day. Were the cops called sometimes to the 7-Eleven? Yeah. But the cops ain't finna stand there every day. And you either need to hire and pay a security guard, which is a whole nother salary of at least $40,000, $50,000, or you need to make a rule such as no kids allowed in here or only 2 kids at a time. They have to protect their bottom line regardless of who the children are or what they look like. Now, this is in Philadelphia, right? And I don't know. Was it Timmy? Was it Jerome? We don't know, right? Either way, honestly, I don't blame them. I don't blame them. They're claiming disorderly conduct. And what I want to do is I want to get into exactly what this specific location ended up saying on their Facebook page, because they did end up releasing a statement on their Facebook page. And what they said is this was the Chick-fil-A in Royersford, Pennsylvania. We contemplated long and hard before posting this, but decided it was time. Often on Saturdays and days when schools are off, we have school-aged children visiting the restaurant without their parents. Usually, these children and teens are dropped off for several hours at a local bounce park, and groups of them then walk over to our restaurant. While we love being a community restaurant and serving guests of all ages, some issues need to be addressed. When groups of unaccompanied children and teens visit our restaurant, the following unacceptable behaviors occur. Volume, they're loud, and their conversation often contains a lot of explicit language. We're a family-friendly restaurant where this is not tolerated. Mistreatment of property. Food and trash are often thrown around and left on tables, chairs, and on the floor. Tables in restrooms are vandalized and decorations are stolen. Okay. Somebody in the comments, Danny TMS4L says, was it Tommy or Jerome? I don't know, but I don't blame him. I'm just saying. I don't care what color they were. I don't blame them. And we're talking about Pennsylvania. That's a state that's very right with both, not one or the other. So it could be both, one or the other. Either way, I do not blame them. And they did a bang up job of listing and letting you know exactly the out of line behaviors that they not finna tolerate no more. Okay. Disrespect of employees. Employees are laughed at, made fun of. They're treated rudely. Employees are cursed at and ignored when they ask children and teens to either change their behavior or leave. Unsafe behaviors also occur walking through the parking lot and drive-through lanes. As you can imagine, this isn't a pleasant experience, and we want to provide a comfortable and safe environment for our guests and our staffs, and also to protect our building. Therefore, we cannot allow this to continue. As a result, to dine in our restaurant, anyone under the age of 16 is required to be accompanied by an adult. If not accompanied by an adult, they may come in and purchase food, but they must take it to go. To those unaccompanied children and teens that have visited us and acted appropriately, we thank you, but we also apologize. Due to the numerous extreme behaviors of many of your peers, we must make a blanket rule covering anyone under the age of 16. Okay? They go on to say, parents, we are not blaming you. Not blaming you. Children and teens are learning to navigate the world free from supervision and often push the boundaries. We simply can't let them push those boundaries anymore in our restaurant. We encourage you to talk to your children and ask about behaviors they have seen and perhaps participated in. Thank you for understanding and for your support. I feel like this was a pretty decent, PSA, right? Parents, we're not blaming you. Sometimes when children act out, it's because they don't have the parental guidance. There's no discipline happening at home. Other times, there's as much discipline as you want going on at home. But when they aren't in front of their parents, they're acting a fool. So I think that this was a really politely worded PSA. No need to play semantics with it and say the parents are to blame. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. And there's no need to sit here and blame parents in this situation, because if a child want to do bad, it don't matter how much money, how many resources, the therapy, the counseling, the correctiveness happening at home. If a child want to act up, turn up and act out, then that's exactly what they're going to do, right? So I could sit and play semantics with this. I could, but the point was made when it came to what Chick-fil-A had to say when it comes to banning, okay? Banning people under 16. Eat outside, find somewhere else to eat. You can come in here, you can order your food, look, they still letting you get the food because all 15-year-olds don't have cars and they can't go through the drive-through and they can't walk up through the drive-through. But look, we just can't let you tear up our property no more. And you got to understand the wear and tear that has on the employees at Chick-fil-A. See, at McDonald's, them employees finna cuss them out. At McDonald's, the employees are going to they're going to word spar with the customer, no matter how old the customer is. But see, Chick-fil-A is a my pleasure, anything else. They are built on customer service. And so when they're being tested daily by really unruly children, I can understand them trying to get that out of there so that your McDonald's in the suburbs, right? Your McDonald's in the hood versus your McDonald's in a spot that has a low crime rate. The customer service is going to different because they're handling the customers based off of that specific location and demographic. And they don't want their employees to turn into, hey, you going to get out? You going to sit down or you going to get out? Period. They don't want their customer service to turn into that. But sometimes you may need to turn into that in order to get that customer to act right. So in order to keep their employees from having to turn it into that, they just gonna keep them customers, out the dancery. Okay. And this sucks. Will we see this in other, and this is why you don't see Chick-fil-A's in the hood, so to speak. You might find them in more urban communities, but not the hood. Like, for example, this is strictly for my Baltimore people. You won't ever see a Chick-fil-A in Park Heights. You won't ever see a Chick-fil-A on Northern Parkway. You won't ever see a Chick-fil-A in downtown Baltimore if it's not Little Italy or just in general. Like they're not taking those risks. Because sometimes you need to hire people that match said environment to keep the establishment running a certain way. Okay. Wait a minute. What's going on? Have you heard about the Charlotte Chick-fil-A incident of labeling a young lady's order with a racial slur? No, I have not. If you want to send that to me via email or DM or on Instagram, Twitter, or whatever the case is, definitely feel free. I haven't heard anything about that. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that. That's interesting. I wouldn't mind reading that story if you sent it to me, and now I'm curious. So that's that as it pertains to Chick-fil-A, right? But something else pertaining to Chick-fil-A that I wanted to speak about is there's this particular Chick-fil-A in Florida that poses a new work schedule. Should I say a different work schedule, right? And what this work schedule is, and listen, if y'all haven't hit the thumbs up button yet, like, what are you waiting for? Where we at? How many people we got here? 128 people and 72 thumbs up. Come on now. That's almost like half. That's a little more than half. Can we hit the button? Don't make me go get Andrew Caldwell, Tyra Banks, Umar Johnson. Hit the button and let's go. Let's keep this bus ride going. Okay. Hey, thanks for letting me keep you connected and in the know with what's happening in the Black world. Don't forget to smash on that like button for support and for more Black news. Somebody in the chat said McDonald's employees get a pop. Do they? Okay. You talking about somebody that literally worked at, was that the moon? Bitch, I thought it was a UFO outside. It's the whole moon sitting here looking right at me. Don't pay me no mind. You talking to somebody that literally worked at McDonald's and Chick-fil-A, okay? I started working at McDonald's when I was 14. Great. It was great money for me to be 14 years old. But anyway, I thought this UFO was about to come in here and get me. I was about to say, take me now, because, the world, Earth is very ghetto right now. Very ghetto, okay? And so here's the thing with this Chick-fil-A down in Florida, right? Something very different they're trying to do. They're posing a new work schedule. They want you to work 3 consecutive days in a row, a specific shift, not necessarily every employee, but they are asking that you work 3 consecutive days in a row, right? 13 to 14-hour shifts for 3 days in a row. So it's either Monday through Wednesday or Thursday through Saturday. It's definitely different. It's not the norm. And now what they're saying is there's 100% retention rate. There's a high application rate. And speaking of the high application rate, they had one opening pertaining to this really different line of work. I mean, hey, you work 3 consecutive days for 14 hours in a row, right? 14 hours, 14 hours, 14 hours. And then you get 4 days to rest and do whatever. And they posted this one opening and they got 400 different applicants. So it seems a lot of people are interested in this. It's definitely a different way of, I guess you could say, life, right? The typical what is it? The typical thing is what, 40 hours a week? But if we're going to do 14 times 3, that's 42. I mean, it's still 40 hours a week, but to have 4 days off a week and work 3, I don't know. I want to know what y'all think about it down below. It would take me a while to decide on that. And honestly, I probably would. You could Like you could go somewhere, come home. I don't know. Is it abusive? Is it like a labor situation? Do you feel like it's wrong? Do you feel like it's worker exploitation? Chick-fil-A pays quite more than minimum wage, right? They definitely pay more than McDonald's. They pay more than Popeyes. They pay more than Arby's. Hell, it's some people that work at Chick-fil-A who are getting paid more than the people that work at Macy's. Okay. And Lowe's and Home Depot and Costco. And you're still getting your 40 hours a week. As a matter of fact, you're getting 42 hours a week, subtract the break, your breaks, your lunch period. So it's something. I want to know from y'all down below in the chat, would you do it? Would you do it? And do you feel like it's wrong to ask somebody to work 13 to 14 hour shifts 3 days in a row, but to have your 4 days off? I don't like to have too much free time on my hands. I think it's the same amount of free time because it's still 40 hours. It's just the fact that the free time is 4 days in a row, and then you're like locked into your job for 14 hours, 3 days in a row. So it's definitely something different. But Stickies, I pass the question off to you. Any of y'all thoughts? Let me know how y'all feel about it down below in the comments. Okay. Now, I want to get into this Tennessee Republican who was trying to bring hanging back. Okay, somebody said, not me, girl. Not me, girl. It depends, But look, if you haven't noticed already, look, you are aboard the Black News Bus. And what the Black News Bus is, it's a social media stroll, okay, that covers Black topics inside of the celebrity world, but it also covers real Black news involving everyday people like you and me. And, I always got some nuggets of Black excellence and Black history all up and throughout this thing. So we will have a good time this morning, even if you are catching a replay, which means that you're chasing the bus. I still implore you to comment as many times as possible down below. Every topic and every time you want to leave a comment, leave as many comments as possible because it helps, okay? Don't just put your one comment about 5 different subjects in the chat. No, leave 5 different comments, okay? But you're on the Black News Bus. You definitely want to buckle in because we got quite a few people on the docket of today's episode of What the Hell is Wrong with Y'all? Yeah, we need to talk about those things. Start with the Tennessee Republican who wants to bring back lynching, okay? So I'm excited to sit up and chill and cut up with y'all a little bit this evening, talk about some Black news, and we just need to get into it. I'm excited. I haven't chilled with y'all in a while. And we're going to chat. We're going to chit-chat it up. I'm going to get you through your work shift and or get you through your day. A lot of people let me know you got me through my work shift. You help me clean. My routine is that I put you on and I clean my different rooms in the house. Whatever it is, baby, we're gonna get you through it, okay? We are going to get you through it because ain't nothing to it but to do it, okay? Let's go. Hit thumbs up. Let's keep it sticky, and we'll be right back.
Get into this Black-owned business, Stickies. It's got things for inside your home, outside your home, and even on the go. JasmineMadeIt.com is your new destination for Black Girl Magic mugs, tumblers, and even wine glasses. You can even customize the tumblers and wine glasses. There's a lot going on for a low price over at JasmineMadeIt.com. And if you've been serious about wanting to support more Black-owned businesses, here's your chance. Let JasmineMadeIt.com handle all your problems for family and friends. You ever had a friend over and they just wasn't catching the hint or paying the rent?
Our asses all get to stepping.
Yeah, tell them to get to stepping with this nostalgic Martin-themed doormat and shop over a dozen different doormat designs over on JasmineMadeIt.com. All right, Stickies, you know what time it is. It's time to put your money where your mouth is and shop Black today. Make life easier for you and your household by taking your family's hot or cold beverages on the go with one of these unique tumblers. It's insulated to keep your beverage at temperature, and it comes with a few different reusable straws and even the specific brush that you need to wash it so you can keep it sanitized and germ-free. They've got all kinds of designs to match your mood or style. So grab something for your wife, the hubby, or even the kids over on JasmineMadeIt.com. That's JasmineMadeIt.com, and I'll see you over there.
All right. So we're back. Thank you so much for hitting the thumbs up button. Had to go check on the cat, child. The cat has been very sassy today, and I just don't have time for him wanting to be in the room. And then you let him in the room, and he's meowing and interrupting me, and then he want to get out the room. I'm like, no, I gotta go check his pulse and see, do you really want to be in here, or are you just whining? He was just out there whining. So I'm like, you can stay out here, because you're not about to run off on the plug twice. I pay him good money, okay? I pay Leo good money, and he runs off and doesn't follow through with the terms in his contract. I should really be taking him to court. I should really be taking that cat to court, because he gyps me. He's been gypping me lately. He don't gyp me every time, but lately he has been gypping me. And
Oh my God.
I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it.
Leo, get down. Get down. It's not a thank you, because it's not a question.
And I don't, sometimes, look, I do not know where that cat gets that sassiness from. I don't know. I don't know. But he's too goddamn sassy. And so he can't be a part of this thing until he can truly commit to what we got going on here. He is the co-host. So he can't just come here for 7 minutes and take down 3-4 treats and demand to leave up out of here. No. I'm not having it. Shout out to the person that cash apped me and said, listen, this is to get Leo a new collar, because I'm tired of looking at his collar. Get him a new collar. Okay, so he got 2 new collars, actually. Stainless steel, big drip. They Cuban links, as a matter of fact. But anyway, look, if you're looking to support the show, make sure that you consider hitting the thumbs up button. Also subscribe. The notification bell will help as well. But also you can send a cash app. My cash app is right here on the screen. You can send it to me or Leo. Trust and believe. If you put Leo in the header, I'm literally going to find something to buy for Leo. Like, I am. You can send a cash app to me. You can send a cash app to Leo. It doesn't matter. But on today's episode of What the Hell is Wrong with Y'all? We need to talk about Tennessee trying to bring back lynching. Let's take a listen.
Leader Cheryl. Thank you, Chairman. And thank you, Representative Powers, for bringing this. I think it's a very good idea. And I was just wondering about, could I put an amendment on that? It would include hanging by a tree also. And also, I would like to sign on to your bill, sir. Thank you.
Roll us on your wrist, thePLAINEStjane.
In 2023, are we surprised though? We I feel like you have the right to be outraged without being surprised, even if it's mild outrage. Because in my complete, it's not difficult to believe that there are some saltines that still want us to be hanged from a tree. That's not surprising, but it's still like, damn, you want to say that out loud in front of out in the open? And then his response to it after he was told that he shouldn't have said that is even worse. Let's go to the bush and then let's get into the rest of that. Now, keep in mind, this was during a committee hearing on a bill to bring back the electric chair, to be specific, right, in Tennessee, and firing squads. And this is a Republican representative. His name is Paul Sherrill, right? Says that they should also bring back lynching. He proposed that Tennessee amend their death penalty to include hanging by a tree during a House Criminal Justice Committee meeting. How in 2023 can a government official have such a grotesque suggestion leave his mouth? How? Racism, being taught racism You wanting to pass down racism because it was passed down to you. Living in the past, wanting to oppress niggas. That's how. Gatekeeping power via oppression and racism. And all of the socioeconomics that comes with that. Let's go to the bush and come back.
It was gone.
Let me just go in the bush and weep. Let me just go in the bush and weep. I just have to go in the bush and weep. Really. I don't understand. I swear to God, I don't understand.
His response will make you angrier than even what he said. Let's listen.
I regret that I used some very poor judgment in voicing my support of a colleague's bill in Criminal Justice Committee. I sincerely apologize to anyone who may I have hurt or offended. Thank you.
Thank you.
I couldn't believe that I was hearing that. We've got to acknowledge that there is a cultural problem on the Hill. Make an effort to be better behind this. All of us need to work, but those who are silent in the face of those comments really need to work. It evokes the sordid history of not just Tennessee, but of America, of those days when lynchings were a common practice, when due process was denied to Black men. Let's have a grown folks conversation. I wasn't alive back then either, but I can assure you that multi-generational trauma still exists. I probably would have accepted the apology a lot better if the representative had come to those on the committee and offered such an apology. It doesn't seem sincere to me when it's made public. I've tried to be a gentleman and scholar since I was elected, but to sit there and have a statement made that only evokes in the minds of anyone who has any sense of history of lynchings, racial lynchings, has pushed me past my point. Mr. Speaker, I'm looking forward to working with you in leadership on how we improve the tone, how we create a better atmosphere. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that.
Representative Howe, you're recognized.
And see, that's not the reaction I was looking for. I thought I had a different clip. But basically, when this meeting ended and he walked out, there were people who were asking him, how do you feel that you want to bring back something that's so racist, that's so discriminatory, that's based on slavery, so on and so forth? And all he did was laugh and giggle. He's walking away and he's like literally like laughing and giggling. That's the part. So this was actually a Black person who was a part of this meeting who actually spoke up and spoke out because they took an intermission after, what's his name? Paul Sherrill. After he said this stuff, they actually spoke up and they spoke out against how ridiculous and how effed up it was for him to propose such a thing. And as this man walked out of the room, all he could do was laugh. That's the reaction. I won't bother searching for the clip. It's out there. I want to keep the show moving. But 2023 people, oftentimes they're trying to take us back to the early 1900s, the late 1800s. That's where they're trying to take us back to. That's where they're trying to take us back to. And it's important to be aware of these things and the people who say these things and the jurisdictions they preside over so that we understand how to move and how to roll if we ever visit or live there, so that we understand how to protect ourselves or how to flee these places. Listen, was segregation a bad thing at that time because it was rooted in discrimination? Absolutely. But is segregation a bad thing right now when we're calculating our probability of survival? Are they trying to drive us out of certain neighborhoods because they absolutely should we resist? That's based on you and what you understand for and what you want to do and whatever like assets you have there. I find nothing wrong with going to places where you are appreciated rather than tolerated. I find nothing wrong with grouping together as blacks and letting whites group together as whites so that we can be a little bit more safe and guarantee the livelihood of ourselves and our family and our kids. Some people say bring back segregation. I can't say I'm against it. Some people are upset that CRT is being taken out of schools. Now, that's one thing I'm definitely not upset with. Why? Do you really trust white people to teach you Black history and not whitewash it? And not let revisionist history be something that your children digest? They won't even call slaves slaves because they understand how effed up it was as when it pertains to what their grandfathers and their ancestors did to us as Black people. So do you think they're even really going to teach CRT in a straight way, and your kids are really going to understand what Black history is coming from a curriculum or a system or a patriarchy that, number one, doesn't want you to know it? Number two, they don't want to admit to doing anything wrong. And number three, they want to secretly keep doing the things through different ways, through music, through TikTok, through music, through the media. I'm not upset that they're taking it out of some schools, because it should be taught at home. Why should we trust saltines to teach our kids Black history? They're never going to do it in the most potent way, in the most right way, in a way that's based in truth rather than revisionist history. Then we will. I'm not upset at it. I am upset at the nuance that lives underneath of the resistance, right? But I'm not upset at the outcome. No, I'm not. They won't even call slaves slave. What's the name that they call slaves? Involuntary. What do they call? They call slaves involuntary what? Involuntary something. I can't remember. Either way, I'm like, y'all ain't even. Don't teach it to my kids. Please don't. Don't teach it to my nieces, my nephews, my anybody's. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Now, real quick, I hope y'all feeling all right. I hope that your mental health and your invisible problems and your invisible issues, I hope that they are okay. Shout out to the new subscribers that involuntary servitude or indentured servants, laborers, okay, different things, migrant workers, whatever it is. It's not flat out slaves. It's not we oppress them. White people saying my people, we enslaved y'all. Like, they're not gonna say that. But shout out to y'all. And as I continue breaking down today's topics and viral events, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Okay? Thumbs up or down, either way, I appreciate it. But don't forget to think critically and independently, regardless of what you hear from me or anybody else. And now, let's get into part 2. This is a continuous episode of fuckery. That's exactly what it is. It's a continued episode of fuckery. And so I want to get into the next story pertaining to a woman in Wisconsin, a black woman in Wisconsin who went to test drive a vehicle. Okay. She has some questions about the vehicle. She has some questions because we're talking a used dealership, a used car salesman that did what he did, a white used car salesman that did what he did. And she has some questions about the Carfax. And she wasn't really met with any of the answers or the clarity that she needed to persuade her to purchase this vehicle. And the way that she was treated when she left, because yeah, she was treated a certain way when she left. You might be wondering, how were you treated some type of way when you left? I'm about to play it for you. Let's just go ahead and get into the clip.
Shit happens. I'm just trying to see what else is gonna happen. So wrong what happened? You do that kind of thing. You wanna say stupid shit to us? Right here on the bumper, on the bumper. Bye guys.
Rolex on your wrist, a plain Jane.
So let's take a look again. He literally peed. He urinated on her identification card.
Shit happens. I'm just trying to see what else is gonna happen. So wrong what happened? You do that kind of thing. You wanna say stupid shit to us? Right here on the bumper, on the bumper. Bye guys.
Rolex on your wrist, a plain Jane.
So this is one of those stories that literally is not being talked about nearly enough. You know, when you talk to and the Shade Room and the Neighborhood Talk and blogs like that, a lot of times they're getting DMs from people who follow them who feel like you need to be up on its tea. Like, I done seen this, I done seen that. I haven't seen this on the Shade Room. I haven't seen this on the Neighborhood Talk. And mind you, I don't really follow the Neighborhood Talk like that. I don't really follow the Shade Room like that, but I do follow the Neighborhood Talk to a certain extent. Why has nobody heard about this? Why has nobody heard about this? This Black woman, the vehicle was under $5,000. Let's go ahead and start there. This is, again, this is a continued episode of what the hell is wrong with y'all. So you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to restart this. I want my video editor to have a fresh way of going about chopping down this video so that I can upload it by itself. Okay? That's what I need.
It's time to face it, boo. Your product needs more exposure. If you want to see your ad here on my channel, be sure to shoot an email over to yt.theplainestjane@gmail.com and let's chat. But if you're new in my neighborhood here on YouTube, hey, I'm the Plainest Jane and I provide coverage and commentary on trending stories, viral events, and Black culture. I definitely appreciate you stopping through and hitting that subscribe button if you'd like more of my particular brand of syrup.
It was a YouTuber, and shout out to her for this good detective work, honey. She's the one who went and was able to put 2 and 2 together. The Plainest Jane. That's the person's name, the Plainest Jane. I couldn't think of what their name was on the podcast, but I wanted to go ahead and shout them out. They're the ones who did the work. All right. So, like I said, shout out to Plainest Jane. She's the one who put that together. So Shekinah was not lying. So when Tiny came back on some, oh, she's making it up, sounded like Tiny's voice to me.
Before I go into what I'm about to go into, Kimmy Kim, what's going on? Wake up, wake up, wake up, because I'm focused on your comment and you left a comment on the video. And thank you for being here and thank you for watching. I saw steam coming up from that video and what was going on. What makes you think that he wasn't urinating, but he was pretending to? The fact of the matter is, a raggedy ass used car salesman was upset that he couldn't sell a vehicle to a black woman, a vehicle that was less than $5,000. Upset that he didn't get the sale, right? So this white man decides that he wants to pee on, okay? He wants to pee on this woman's identification. Oh, let me go ahead and reset. Because, baby, you was good to get this live popping. But let me go ahead and reset for a second, okay? Someone says smaller penises may not have heavy flow. That's why you don't understand the heavy flow. Because you got a small one sitting at home, baby, don't you? Don't you? You don't understand the heavy flow because the man that you with got a little teeny, itsy bitsy, teeny, weeny, yellow polka dot or penis. That's why you don't understand why that heavy flow exists. Nonetheless, baby.
It was gone. Let me just go in the bush and weep. Let me just go in the bush and weep. I just have to go in the bush and weep. Really. I don't understand. I swear to God, I don't understand.
All right. Let us keep it pushing. Okay? As we need to do. Fix it, Jesus. Fix it. It's a matter of what can she really charge these people with? That's the real question. Like, what can she charge them with? Okay.
I know that's not you. Sitting back there talking about supporting black businesses and they never really doing it. Get it together. This is for the people who really support black businesses. Head over to pleasebeeasy.com when you get a chance and help keep the black dollar in the community for longer than the 6-hour statistics show. But Be More Like Us is a unisex clothing line. So it's got something for you, your honey, and even the kids. I know the fellas head over there because the new releases color coordinate with the new sneaker drops. So sneakerheads, you're welcome. They even have masks over on pleasebeeasy.com. So make sure the first thing you do when you finish this video is head to pleasebeeasy.com for the latest, freshest, unapologetically black-owned fashion for men, women, and kids.
So let's go ahead and get into this story right here. A black woman went to go on a test drive. A black woman went to go test drive a car and the dealership asked her to leave her identification as a trade while out for the drive. Now, she returned and decided against purchasing the vehicle and accidentally forgot her ID. So the white salesman decided to bend and urinate on this woman's ID. Now, his coworkers thought it was so funny that he recorded and uploaded it to social media. Now, this happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin. I'll play the clip and I want to know what you all think.
That's what happens. I just want to see what else is going to happen. So wrong what happened. You do that kind of thing. You want to say stupid shit to us? Right on the bumper, on the bumper.
Rolex on your wrist, a plain Jane.
I think that the most disturbing part of all of this, but it's also very predictable, right, is the way that the police have responded. So here's what I'll do. I'm going to read to you exactly what the woman who experienced this went through, and then we're going to get into exactly what the police department of this jurisdiction had to say. So she says, today around 12:51, I stopped at NH Auto Sales on 9000 Sheridan Road, Kenosha, Wisconsin, which is 38 miles from Waukesha, and I traveled with my friend's mom to view the 2004 Honda Civic. It's a green color. I reached out to Brian Slavin a couple of days ago, and I told him that I wanted to view the car on Saturday, February the 25th at 12 o'clock noon. Now, we got to the location around 12:51. We got out, we viewed the vehicle, we went inside, I introduced myself, and we wanted to view the Honda Civic. And when I got there and I got the keys, I had to trade in my ID, in which I did in front of my friend's mom and a random lady. We took the vehicle for a ride, and that was about 30 minutes. So we had questions about the vehicle when we got back. We went to this little auto place, and we had to use the bathroom before we got any questions going. After I was done with the bathroom, After I was done with the bathroom, we had questions about the vehicle in which the owners couldn't answer. So we asked how negotiable the price was. Because mind you, that's what you do with used cars and car shopping in general. They didn't really give much besides it's tax season. We don't really have to drop the price. We average selling about 5 cars a week, and we've already done that today. So we ain't giving you no price drop, right? This is the first part of her status. Let's get into the second part. So we went back outside and we decided that the vehicle just wasn't for me. We left and we headed back to town, which I realized I never got my ID back from Brian and his counterpart. Now, I called Brian immediately and I told him that I left my ID, and my exact words were, quote, I left my ID. Can I cash up you like $5 to send it back to me? End quote. I don't have time to just drive an hour away. I made time today because I was viewing the car, but I work all the time. Brian's response was along the lines of, I'm not in the office right now. I don't have your ID, and I won't be back until Monday. And my response was, okay, can I call you on Monday? Mind you, I went out of my way to ask, can I call you on Monday to get my personal property back? Brian's response back was, yeah. So we hung up, and here I am thinking, damn, Kay, I don't have my ID. I can't get a drink after this non-successful car lot day. And then boom, I was contacted tonight through Instagram, and this is what they did to my license, my state identification. That is my property that I need. The guy in the bubble vest is the associate or boss. They say sells cars together. Okay, stay away. I feel so violated, dog. My family's address is listed in big print where they lay and sleep at night. So do what you need to do with this one. I don't know the other guy's name. Also, my grammar and sentences aren't the best right now because I'm literally shaking and scared and sick to my stomach. Okay. So this is the dealership. Okay. This is a dealership. I don't think she's ever going to touch that license again. I have seen an update on her page on Facebook. And so she's ordered a new one from the, we call it here in Maryland, the MVA, Motor Vehicle Association. I think other people might call it like the DMV. It might be the DMV or the MVA based on like where you are. Her new ID based off of the situation is going to be arriving, is expected to arrive in the mail on March the 10th. So I have been following it that much, but this is the dealership. This is the name of the individual who decided to take a leak on her ID. Okay. Here's what the police department had to say as they released a statement pertaining to this incident. They say the Kenosha Police Department is aware of a disgusting act of disrespect towards a person's property, a video of which is being widely shared on social media. We've been in contact with the victim and we're working with the person on the investigation. Now, the Kenosha Police Department is also aware that this video has been viewed a lot. We are aware of the threats being made to the immature culprits and their business. While we can understand that viewing this video causes emotional reactions, we cannot and will not tolerate any acts of violence towards those responsible or associated with the business or the business itself. It's a matter of protecting the urinator more than you're protecting the business. Like, don't sit up here and act like, and I don't even want to refer to the urinator as a victim, but let's not act like the quote unquote only victim, if I'm going to feed into that delusion, is the urinator. This woman was a victim of racism and racist behavior. And I do think that this is a hate crime. A lot of people who live in this place or drive past this place or have ever experienced this city and this place know and have reported how racist this place is. So she was doxxed, her ID, her family's address, where her family sleeps. She's the victim here. And for you to say no violence is going to be tolerated against people who urinated on her ID, instead of saying no violence is going to be tolerated against this woman, because if a racist outs somebody that they're being racist towards, right? And it goes down in the news, please believe there are other people who are racist, who do have the Ku Klux Klan mentality, who feel like, yeah, we're going to go after them too, them niggers living in our town. They're subject to abuse and violence and unwanted negative treatment as well. And this statement protects the urinators, and it doesn't, the urinators. The fact that I'm even making that a word. This statement speaks in protection of the urinators rather than the woman who was doxxed. That says a lot, not only about Kenosha's police department, but about this area, about this town. And you got some people who be like, you know what, I'm not going to live there. And you got other people who are willing to live there just to fight you, to make you treat people right. Whatever the side of the fence you live on, listen, I would rather live in a safe town, which is why early in this video, what did I say? Some people, segregation ain't a good thing. Guess what? I'd rather be in a safe town with black people than in a place full of whites or people who want to kill me or make life difficult for me than anything. So is segregation a bad thing? Where we are in 2023, when they're literally trying to bring lynching back, is segregation a bad thing? I can't look up at you and literally say, yeah, it's a bad thing. I can't look up at you and I can't say that. like I said, the most disturbing part of all this is, but it's also a very predictable part of this circumstance, right? Is the fact that the response from the police department, right? The district that presides over like this area, they're more concerned about protecting. They're more concerned about protecting the urinating used car salesman and his buddies, and somehow treating them as the victims of some sort. This is beyond foul, but y'all didn't need me to point that out to you, right? Y'all didn't need me to point that out. Y'all already knew that. And so, Stickies, I really want to know from you, what crime can they charge? What crime can they charge the urinating car salesman with? Malicious destruction of property? Is this a hate crime of some sort? After all, you know, Kenosha, Wisconsin is known to be a very racist town. This is a very interesting and unfortunate situation. Very unfortunate and interesting situation. Okay. They say it's definitely a hate crime. Urinator sounds messed up. Yeah, it does. Urinator. Like, you're the urinator. You're the urinator here. How are you the victim? But you know, that's how it typically does. When white people do some shit, and then they get hatred, right? Their jobs get caught. Their employers have to deal with the public's outcry of how trash the character of like said person is. Now suddenly you're the victim. No, you were victimizing a Black person. Like, you were. Newsflash. Like, you used to be going out of pocket.
Out of pocket for that shit. Way out of pocket. What do you gain from that?
It's too much. Eric Boykins, I might have to make you a producer of the show, okay? You way out of pocket. You're way out of pocket. But listen. This is beyond an unfortunate situation, but it's not getting there. And I see a lot of these blogs, they post troubling stories, fatalities that are taking place in the Black community quite frequently. And I haven't seen this one gain any traction. And that's strange to me. And so I want to give you my final thoughts, and I want to know what unanswered questions you have about the situation. Do we have other things to speak about? Absolutely. But I'll share my final thoughts with you while you comment yours down below in the chat. And comment yours down below whether you're on the bus right now or if you're chasing the bus, which means that you're watching the replay. Are we surprised at the people with the complexion for protection? Are we really surprised that the people with the complexion for protection are getting protection in a whole PR release? Are we surprised that they're the victim in this story somehow? You better not threaten the urinators. But whatever happens to the woman whose ID was literally pissed on. We're talking about body fluids and how dangerous that could be. Don't worry about that nigga though. Worry about the urinators. It's a mess. It's a mess. And it's not even that I don't understand how, because I do. The complexion for protection. If you are in or around Kenosha, Wisconsin, please comment down below the climate of your place, your space, where you live, how you survive there, how much of a toll it takes on you, if any. Let me know. What are your thoughts? Where do you land on this? And I just want to apologize to my video editor already, because editing this piece out might be a little difficult. And matter of fact, when you send it to me, I'm probably just going to edit it down myself, because I got tongue-tied. I got emotional beforehand. I started, child. I'm sorry, girl. Whatever you give me, I'm going to work with. All right. Now, y'all know things are always sticky in Hollywood and in real life. And this is the part where we're about to turn up and we're about to have a good time. I had to talk about Black news. I had to give y'all some stuff that wasn't necessarily about Hollywood, the people in Hollywood, the people around Hollywood, the has-beens, the current-beens, all that other stuff. Before we got into Chris Rock and all of that, okay? Y'all know things are always sticky in Hollywood in real life. Now, when we get into this next story, I definitely want to make sure that you're checking on your mental health before we get into talking about these celebrities. These celebrities, these are parasocial relationships we have with them, okay? They are way out of our tax bracket. They are way out of our reach. So just make sure you are right before we get into this. Now, we need to talk about, baby, Chris Rock is in Baltimore. He's in Baltimore right now, okay? And he's talking about Will Smith. And child, let's cut up. I ain't got nothing else to do. Baby, if I'm putting on my makeup at 1 a.m. to come live with y'all, trust and believe I'm about to cut up, because I have the energy to do so. I slept a lot of the time today. I had a lot of use it or lose it time. I had time that I was going to be losing at the end of March. I had 35 hours I was about to lose. My supervisor reminded me. I was like, yo, you got 35 hours you're about to lose. So I requested off every Friday of this month except the last one, because we got like 5 weeks in this month, technically 3 pay weeks, right? 3 pay days, should I say, this month, but we got 5 Fridays in the month of March. So what I did was, instead of requesting off for 1 week, I requested off every single Friday in March, except for the 31st, right? Because the 31st would be the 5th Friday. So that's what I did. And I slept a good time away, okay, today. And I got up and I had the energy, and I said, you know what? It's late. It's not going to be a lot of people watching me, but baby, we can go live and we're going to talk about it. We are going to go live and we're going to talk about it. I was about to slick my edges down, but I said, you know what? People need to learn to appreciate when you ain't got baby hairs that are slicked down like the wigs and the lace. And I said, you know what? Let me just leave what the Beyonce, I love my decks if I didn't know, and not. Y'all gonna learn to appreciate Black people in their natural state and stop acting like we gotta conform to these Eurocentric beauty standards. We gonna stop. If you don't like me when my edges ain't, and sometimes I do put my edges down, but if you don't like me when my edges ain't put down, then you ain't for me. You ain't for me. If the only time you want to watch my videos is when I'm showing cleavage, which I do a great amount of time, I ain't gonna hold you. Especially on Fridays. On Fridays, I'd be like, let me let the girls out. Who let the girls out? I'd be like, let me show some cleavage. But I said, you know what? I feel the pressure to do that so much, because I get more views when I'm showing some cleavage, when I got my edges slicked down. When I'm like, guess what? I'm not giving them that today. I don't feel like it. I feel like showing up in a regular graphic tee and talking to my people, and they either going to resonate with the message and the topics, or they're not. Okay? You can like it or you don't. I do like how it looks when I slick my hairs. When I slick, I love how that looks. But also, not only do I not have the time or the patience, I shouldn't have to conform to that, because a lot of people got the baby hair era. It's out of control in this day and age. So, what did Mary J. Blige say? So take me as I am, or have nothing at all. And that's the bottom line. Y'all either gonna accept me in graphic tees and regular whatever, or you not. Okay. I still think that I'm cute when I'm not putting down my baby hairs and when I'm not showing cleavage. Although I do enjoy showing cleavage, I do like putting my baby hairs down. But look, I'm not gonna have the time or the wherewithal or the desire to do that every single time I go live. Okay? Natural edges matter. They matter. Okay? Somebody said, Jane, you got baby hairs. Stop playing. I might have baby hairs, but they don't look like, you know, the 2023 baby hairs. We all always trying to keep up with trends, you know. Back in the day, 10 years ago, my brow standard was different. I was still keen on the brows, but then 10 years ago, the brow standard was what? Extremely thin brows. While I never feel like my brows were extremely thin because my face is too big for that, they were thinner than they are now. The standard now is to have a bit of a thicker brow, but whatever. Okay. Y'all gonna make me go get Leah. I'm gonna bring him in here and y'all just gonna have to listen to him meow. So with all that being said, let's get into Chris Rock. Will Smith. I'm gonna bring the cat in here. Okay. Since y'all somebody said that Leo was cuter than me. Okay. He cuter. I'm gonna go get him and y'all gonna listen to him cry and whine and all that other stuff. How about that? Why y'all comparing me and the cat?
Why?
I'm gonna go get him. We'll be right back. Hit thumbs up. Keep it locked. I want to tell you about Chris Rock literally fetishizing Will Smith. Keep it locked. We'll be right back. Keep it sticky, and I'll see you in a second.
Get into this Black-owned business, Stickies. It's got things for inside your home, outside your home, and even on the go. JasmineMadeIt.com is your new destination for Black Girl Magic mugs, tumblers, and even wine glasses. You can even customize the tumblers and wine glasses. There's a lot going on for a low price over at JasmineMadeIt.com. And if you've been serious about wanting to support more Black-owned businesses, here's your chance. Let JasmineMadeIt.com handle all your problems for family and friends. You ever had a friend over and they just wasn't catching the hint or paying the rent?
Our asses all get to stepping.
Yeah, tell them to get to stepping with this nostalgic Martin-themed doormat and shop over a dozen different doormat designs over on JasmineMadeIt.com. All right, Stickies, you know what time it is. It's time to put your money where your mouth is and shop Black today. Make life easier for you and your household by taking your family's hot or cold beverages on the go with one of these unique tumblers. It's insulated to keep your beverage at temperature, and it comes with a few different reusable straws and even the specific brush that you need to wash it so you can keep it sanitized and germ-free. They've got all kinds of designs to match your mood or style. So grab something for your wife, the hubby, or even the kids over on JasmineMadeIt.com. That's JasmineMadeIt.com, and I'll see you over there.
All right, and we're back. Let's go ahead and get Leo up here, child. Let's go ahead and get him up here. Baby, I woke him up with the quickness. I said, Leo, you want a treat? He said, oh, bitch, I'm over there right away. Lord. All right. What is going on? with this. Leo, come on up here to get your treat. You want to look at the people. You want to look at just look at the people right there out there. You want to just look at them. You don't want to look. You just want to fight my fingers in my hand. You want to look at the people over there. All right. You don't want to look at the people. No. Okay, you just, but, okay, but wait. Oh, but, all right, come on, you get one more. Guess what? 4 treats. Oh, buddy, you locked in. I don't care how many times you cry to get out of here. You're staying in here, okay? I don't want to hear none of that meowing to get out mess. I don't want to hear none of it. Because guess what? 4 treats? Oh, buddy. This is... Not him washing his hands. I'm weak. All right, come on. You need to go ahead and get down. Get down. Get down. Get down. Thank you. Get your butt crack off these people's face. All right. So, child. Yeah, he got on his Cuban link. He got on the gold Cuban link. He also has a silver one too. I need to switch them because they two. I can't remember what the inches are that he has. I think one is a 10-inch and one is a 12-inch because we didn't know which one was going to fit better. But really, both of them fit. It's just one fits more snug than the other, and we just weren't sure what to do. But yeah, he got his Cuban link one. This is cool. This is cool. Okay, so again, if you're looking for a way to support the channel, make sure that you hit the thumbs up button because that's free. But you can also send a Cash App to $THAPLAINESTjane. It's right here on the screen. Make sure you double check and make sure you typed it in correctly to send and support the show monetarily. Okay. All right. So Chris Rock is still talking about the slap, and baby, it's giving stale as hell to me. It's giving stale as hell. Not to mention, is it stale? Absolutely. Because how long ago was this? Was this like a year ago? Yeah, it was about a year ago. And the joke that he's telling, though, makes you want to deeply Negro spiritually sigh. It makes you want to give a deep Negro spiritual sigh. Okay, so here's what's really going on with this situation. You got Chris Rock and Will Smith. Okay, Chris Rock is basically saying, like, I enjoy seeing Will Smith get wet in Emancipation. I need a raccoon video gif moment situation. That's what now I'm realizing it now. That is exactly what I need. Not you enjoyed seeing him being whipped as or like a slave. You enjoyed that because he slapped you. And you didn't slap him back for whatever reason, right? But you saying, I enjoyed seeing him be whipped like a slave in that movie because he slapped me. Makes you look more like the pussy ass punk bitch that you are. Because that joke was inappropriate. You could have told any joke in the world about that. But for you to say you enjoy seeing him being treated like a slave because you've been tap dancing for whites for quite some time now, lets us know all that we need to know. You can't fight your own battles, and therefore you want the oppressor. You want the residual effects of slavery. You want everything that's left behind and that still exists, right? And the things that have happened by the white people that you tap dance for, you want that to dehumanize him and emasculate him, and you want that to exist tenfold. And you feel like that's you getting your lick back because you tap dance for these people in these institutions.
This is a sick Negro.
Let's get into the information, okay? I know y'all hear Leo in the back. I don't have time for his shit. He got paid, and so therefore he's going to work his shift, right? And this is all a part of his leaked set that, you know, Chris Rock got his little Netflix special coming, and I can't wait to watch it because I can't wait to rip it to shreds if it's trash. And first of all, these jokes seem old as hell. You should have went on tour within the first 6 months of when this happened, and maybe your jokes would hit harder. But what I can say is it's difficult, right? Because no one has heard the joke and the execution of it. And there's a difference between reading jokes and hearing jokes and receiving them the same way. It's no different than people sending a text message or an email and you really being able to understand the nuances behind it, right? So we don't know what his exact delivery was, but this has been leaked because he was previewing some of this set for the Netflix special up in Manhattan. But he's down here right now in Baltimore filming his Netflix special. And it was, you know, revealed that he enjoyed, it was part of his set in which he said that you know, he watched Emancipation just so he could watch Will Smith be whipped. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. He says, Chris Rock says, I rooted for Will Smith my whole life. The other day, I watched Emancipation just so I could watch him being whipped. He says Will Smith practices selective outrage. People who are in the know know that shit and had nothing to do with me. He is significantly bigger than me, and you'll never see me on camera with my shirt off. Will played Muhammad Ali. I played Pookie. And, you know, that's from New Jack City, which is a film that was released in 1991, right? So he's trying to say, I'm real skinny. He real big. And Will Smith ain't real big. He's just like an average sized guy, in my opinion. He real big. I'm real small. I like seeing him whipped by Massa because he slapped me. So I see Massa take care of him. Like, that shit trash. Maybe the delivery might do something different, but I really don't see it happening that way. Okay. Apparently, what else he said in his set? He said, I got it so hard that I heard Summertime ringing in my ears. And if you don't know, Summertime was a song that Will Smith did with that he released years ago. Summertime. So he said, I got slapped so hard, I heard one of his biggest hits in my ears. Like, that shit, it's sounding hella fucking whack to me. And I get it. We're just reading it. We're not really able to see his delivery, the different voice inflections he has. And those things can make or break a joke, right? One person can deliver the same joke and be flat, and another person can come up and deliver it in a way that really knocks it out the park. But it's sounding really whack to me. You embracing the imagery of slavery because you didn't get your lick back. So you enjoy seeing the depiction of slavery and Will Smith being an actor in that respect because you didn't get your lick back. So you enjoy seeing slavery on screen because the nigga is your op. It's strange to me. We'll see. I'm not sure what the expected release date is on Netflix, but you know, comedians oftentimes they sample and they test out their different sets in front of different groups of people, and they study the way people laugh, if people laugh, their timing, their delivery in front of different groups of people. And apparently this is something that he did in Manhattan, in which this is why we have these reports now from the New York Post, the Root, Huffington Post, and other areas, or should I say other. Leo, ain't nobody worried about that. We're not worried about it. We're not worried about it. We're not. Get comfortable, because you're here now. And other outlets who have since reported what Chris Rock is putting in his set for his Netflix special. I'm hoping that it gets nothing more than boo, tomato, 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 boo, tomato. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Okay. But that's Pookie and them. That is Pookie and them. Now, this next thing that we need to get into. Now, I talk about issues under the flag. Put a 1 in the chat if you know, if you've watched my videos before and you understand what my series are. Put a 1 in the chat if you know what issues under the flag is and is about. And put a 2 in the chat if you don't know what the hell issues under the flag is. Let me know and comment down below. Do you know what issues under the flag is about? And mind you, I have a playlist about issues under the flag. But put a 1 if you know what it's about and put a 2 if you don't. Okay? Because I have 2 stories pertaining to what we're about to discuss when it comes to issues under the flag. Because it is an issue. It is an issue. And it just so happens to land underneath of the flag. And so I need to speak on it. People may not like it. I know it's very easy to be labeled as phobic. But it needs to be spoken about. Okay, so I see a couple of 2s, which leads me to believe that I need to explain what it's about. But that's what I'll do. I'll explain it, right? What it's about, but I feel like a great amount of it really doesn't even need explanation. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to get into this. And thank you all so much for watching and for supporting. It means so much. It's literally, what is it, 4:30 in the morning? Lord, it's late. Okay, it's late, but we're going to go ahead and get into this next subject. Okay, so as I get my charger off the floor and plug up my phone, we're going to get into issues under the flag and some of the issues and some of the unnecessary sexualization of children that we see way too frequently. And I do mean way too frequently. So I'm going to show a clip. I'll let it sit with you all for a while. And then I will explain what issues under the flag is really all about, to be honest with you. Okay. So let me go ahead and get into this clip.
Rolex on your wrist, a plain Jane.
Is that appropriate? Is that appropriate in y'all's opinion? Let me just make sure. Y'all.
Rolex on your wrist, a plain Jane.
Children.
Yes, auntie.
I'm running out of time. I got one night away. That's all I have. See if you don't know. One night away.
Every time when you leave, I'm begging.
a child, children, young children. But I mean, like, we have so many people who are, we have a percentage of the community, should I say, who will swear you up and down that this behavior doesn't exist. And I had one called into the show before, and I'm like, why don't y'all speak up about this, right? Because we don't want to get labeled and lumped in with them. Oh, okay. So y'all don't speak up about some of the pedophilic issues in you all's community. But when people who aren't a part of the community, like myself, we should shut up and mind our business, and we shouldn't be talking about it. So we're just supposed to allow that issue to run rampant. Because there's this like mental gymnastics around how we should be proud about like the existence of it, whether they're young children, whether they're teenagers. We just had Gabrielle Union on stage at the NAACP Awards. The NAACP Awards, let me say that again. The NAACP Awards. And Gabrielle Union hopped into her bag and got really passionately / angry about the existence of a child that she didn't bear. It's not genetically hers. And that's the focus now, right? The NAACP Awards. But okay, that's not what we're talking about right now, right? It's something different, but does it align a little bit? But why was what the fuck we just saw okay? Why was that okay? This is what we call issues under the flag. And for the people who don't understand what issues under the flag, it is a segment that I have on my channel. Oh, I get called every name under the sun when I cover issues under the flag. And issues under the flag for me, okay? I've created this series because there aren't people, and I can't wait to like actually go back and clip what that guy said who was a part of the LGBT community. And I said, why don't y'all speak about issues like this? Because if we speak about it, we don't want to be lumped in. So we just let it rock. Y'all let it rock. That's the problem. Y'all let it rock, and y'all are scared to speak up within your own community. But when I speak up, it's a problem. Issues Under the Flag is a series that I've created to address predatory behavior that exists within certain people who label and categorize themselves within the LGBT community. And I'll say all day, night, and long, the LGBT community has been hacked. I have several friends who are part of the LGBT community, who are a part of the LGBT community, but they don't stand for any of this pedophilic stuff. But once people who have ulterior motives, they infiltrate and they merge themselves with the LGBT community, and they use the flag as a shield. They do. It's a loophole. It's a safe haven for pedophiles, but they use the flag as a shield or a loophole to get away from maliciously or intentionally trying to convert or indoctrinate impressionable minds of children. There are a lot of steps and actions being taken by way of learning institutions and school districts that skip past the parents and work around parental consent and to go straight to the children with heavy and potentially harmful information without getting consent from the parents. Not to mention the body altering information, a lot of which is damaging and irreversible effects. And these children are being targeted and they're being forced to deal with the politicization of the LGBT agenda. They are. And there's some people who don't like the term agenda. But that's what it seems like because it's running rampant in y'all's community. It's been hijacked. And y'all aren't saying or doing anything to stop it or speak out against the things that don't represent what you all stand for. Y'all just let it run and go wild. And to be clear, it's only an agenda as it pertains to children. You know, an agenda book. Do y'all remember having, at least I remember having agenda books back when I was in school. It's like, you got this to do on Thursday and on Friday, and this is what we plan to talk about on Monday when you come back to school. So read up on it. The agenda is it's so predictable nowadays. Because people who aren't part of the community, who speak up out and about some of the negative stuff pertaining to indoctrinating children and exposing children to some of this negative stuff, nothing's done about it. And so it continues to grow and grow and grow. And so it seems that we can literally predict this type of stuff. These children are being groomed. And a lot of people are apprehensive to ask questions because this stuff is being powered and executed by school systems and new government policies. Not to mention, people who are part of the community have more protection, more rights, and more power than Black people. You have better luck going to HR and say, I was discriminated against because I'm a part of the community, because I'm gay, bi, whatever. Then you have luck saying, I was discriminated against because I'm Black. There are more protections and more laws for the LGBT community than it is for Black people. And that is why it's a safe haven. It's a safe haven for pedophiles to step up and say, you know what? This is where I can get away with it, because if you question any of my moves, you're phobic. I'm going to send the whole community after you. I hope you're ready for this backlash. I hope you're ready for this storm. Not to mention, there are also some people that consider themselves to be MAPs. What is MAPs, do you ask? MAPs are minor attracted people. So they're trying to normalize grown-ass people who are attracted to minors, and they're calling themselves minor attracted people. So they're trying to add the M onto the end of the LGBTQIA plus community. So maybe one day it'll be the LGBTQIAM plus community. That's what they're hoping for. But they didn't get that boldness out of nowhere. They realized this is a safe haven. I can come here and identify as this, and they'll understand that it's my sexuality. It's it's my desire. And I'm not a pedophile. I'm just trying to love who I love. I just love who I love. Even if they're children, I'm a grown-ass person. And you don't see much of anybody who is a part of the community who's speaking up and out or against. I've seen one person, and I need to go back and get their name so I can give them credit, because a lot of times I say there's no one speaking. I've seen one person in one video that was made. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to get that person's name. outside of that one person, you don't see anybody speaking up and out and get against that. MAPS, minor attracted persons. Bizarre. Bizarre. This stuff is being powered and executed by school systems and new government policies, believe it or not. And a lot of time we find out when it's just a bit too late. We see these mugshots with the teachers, the coaches, and whatever, and mugshot because they had relations with the child, and school administrators who are using this guise of like an after. I did a video on an after school club, a whole after school club where they were literally stripping. Oh, but it's LGBTQ. You can't say shit about it. No, they're stripping, and the students were told to show up with money to tip the strippers. Just because it's an LGBTQ show and they're wearing bikinis on school property and they're in the 10th and 11th grade doesn't make it okay. But I did a whole video on that too.
Rolex on your wrist, a plain Jane.
But you know what? There's also something else going on. Hold up. I'm going to show you this clip right here just to help you understand how real this movement and the effects of it are.
Should be performing adult entertainment. This is a child who performs at RuPaul's drag events, who's sponsored by Crocs, and whose mother runs a kid drag account with sexually explicit performances like this. No child should be performing adult entertainment for adults. This is not expression. This is child exploitation. What kind of parent brings their child to perform with adults and in front of adults wearing BDSM gear and lingerie? What kind of parent is okay with their child being sexualized and behaving in a sexual manner? What kind of parent is okay with their child touching their privates and performing with an adult taking off their clothing? What kind of parent allows their child to perform with a man wearing a BDSM mask? How old are you, they ask? 13. This is a 13-year-old whose childhood was stolen and who taught this child to lick their hand and touch their privates to entertain adults. You see, this goes beyond failed parenting. This is the byproduct of a toxic TikTok culture that's already sexualized our children. And yes, these are pasties on this child's body. It's not enough to protect children from sexually explicit adult performances. We have to protect children from becoming the sexually explicit performances for adults. We stop the exploitation when we stop the grooming.
What are y'all thoughts on that? That's the question. That's the question. Now, let's go ahead and move forward to staying on subject. Everyone has been speaking about this teacher with these Z-cup boobs. Z-cup boobs. You see her on the right. You see her on the thumbnail. Okay. So there's an update on her. And mind you, I spoke about her. I spoke about her a while ago. Your girl be having her finger on the pulse early. Okay. Shout out to Eric Boykins for the $2 super chat. Says, thankful I'm not a child in today's age. I appreciate you for sending that super chat. And then they sent another one for $1. Thank you so much, Eric. I do appreciate you. And we need to get into some information regarding this teacher, because this is a teacher who decided to, it comes out that they only wear the prosthetic boobs. They literally are wearing a Z cup. Mind you, none of us heard about a Z cup until we heard about this teacher. Let's keep it a buck. Had any of y'all heard about a Z cup until y'all heard about this teacher? I knew we had D, F, G cup. You know what I mean? Like my mother's side of the family, that they got some heavy breast situations. Okay, so I didn't heard about G's, F, H's, and stuff like that. Yeah. But Z, baby, Z. And then to find out that you only, and so these are prosthetics, right? I do interesting things in the middle of my videos just to keep y'all here. Shout out to Fenty and Rihanna and them. Girl, Z-cup prosthetics. You don't have G cups or Z cups because you're a man. So you're wearing Z cup prosthetics every day to school because you teach high school. Then it comes out that you don't wear these prosthetics outside of school. So outside of school, you walking around like a normal nigga. And I'm so sorry, that disrespects your pronoun, but I don't know what your pronoun is. But I'm assuming if you wear a wig and Z-cup prosthetics, your pronoun maybe. You don't wear it outside of school. The only time you wear, let me make this a little bit bigger so y'all can see it on the screen. You see that motherfucker inside the circle? That's the same motherfucker to the right that's wearing these Z cups. Prosthetics. To the school every day. But they don't wear it outside every day. So when you show up to school every day, you are intentionally wearing the most obnoxious boobs you can find. To confuse these motherfucking kids, to annoy these motherfucking kids. First of all, I think it's disrespectful to the women with heavy ass titties. Because let me tell you something about like my mother and my grandmother and people, they be wanting to get reductions because it causes them back pains to have big breasts. Now, mind you, it wasn't Z cup, but it, you know, you get beyond the triple D point, and they want like the. So you only wearing these titties in front of kids, and when you out living your regular life, you ain't. You looking like the regular man, the regular man that you are. But you show up in school every day sounding like, okay, kids, let me just teach you how to. Now, if it was a workplace battle, I might just like sit on the sidelines and be like, I don't know. Y'all got to figure out how y'all like HR are going to deal with it. But we talking about kids. If it was a regular place, I'd be like, HR going to figure out how they going to have to deal with this shit. But you mean to tell me you only wear them Z-cup prosthetics in front of the kids, and everything you do outside of the kids, you walking around like a regular nigga? Sir. After months of controversy, Kayla Lumex was placed on paid leave after photos of her wearing men's attire surfaced. The suspension comes as parents has gathered to, excuse me, let me start over. Because I'm just laughing too. First of all, let's go to the bush. Let me go to the bush. Because I
was gone. Let me just go in the bush and weep. Let me just go in the bush and weep. I just have to go in the bush and weep. Really. I don't understand. I swear to God, I don't understand.
It's her being a regular nigga on the weekends. And then trying to be a woman on the weekdays when she talks to the children. That's the part that's crazy to me. I'm tired of people like her and others that want to play with like our language. Don't call me he, call me they, them, or call me her, or call me. And
y'all need to stop. Y'all need to grow up. Grow up. Tired of telling y'all to grow up. Y'all need to stop it. I'm tired of it, y'all. You ain't finna work me out.
even Andrew Caldwell will tell you that this is out of pocket. It's out of line. It's completely out of line, if you ask me. But listen, let's get into this story. After months of controversy, this teacher, their name is that they want to go by is Kayla Lumex. if I'm saying that correctly, was placed on paid leave after photos of them wearing men's attire surfaced. Because again, they only dress like this when they're at school. When they're not in school and they're not teaching, they dress as a man, which has a lot of people up in arms. And I can't say I blame them. But the suspension, right? Because they've been suspended. It comes as parents have gathered to condemn the school board's handling of the scandal. And so they've been criticized for provocative attire and the Z cup breasts. And so Kayla Lumix, if I'm saying that correctly, claims the breasts are authentic and the consequence of a medical problem. That's interesting because they're whole fake titties, like they fake titties. Many parents have been outraged, previously stating that she quote unquote mocks women and the education experience, end quote. Not to mention parents have been outraged, but I've covered this story in the past, and the students are pretty outraged and uncomfortable as well. And so the Halton District School Board acknowledged on Tuesday that she'd been removed from the Oakville High School and was put on paid leave. So I'm curious to know what you all think about this situation. I'm curious to know, do you feel like they're pushing the boundaries? I want to know, if I had to ask any of you all commenting a question, why do you think they wear this at school in front of the students, but when they're not at school and they're not in front of the students, they don't wear this type of a getup? Why do you think that is? That's an honest question I have for you all. Like, and as much as I speak, talk, think, I don't have an answer for that question. I have a theory, but I can't even articulate the theory because I do think that sometimes, because the LGBT community, right? Again, the guys in the LGBT community, sometimes they have more rights than we have. And they know they can get away with more than people who aren't a part of the community can. I don't know. I don't really have the best way to articulate this. What I can tell you is if you go into HR based off of, I'm a Black person and I feel like I've been treated this type of way negatively, right? I've been mistreated because I'm Black. And then the person next to you says, I've been mistreated because I'm LGBT. You have more power saying, I've been mistreated because I'm LGBT, than you have over a Black person. That's what I can say. Whatever, though. Call me whatever type of phobic you want to call me, because I know what's coming. I know what's coming. But it is what it is. It is what it is, but let's move on. And listen, look. If you're looking to support the show, just make sure you hit thumbs up. It's completely free. You don't have to send a Cash App, although the Cash App is on the screen. But listen, for free, just hit the thumbs up button. Just hit the subscribe button. It means so much, and it supports the channel in a way that you wouldn't even imagine. So just hit the thumbs up button. Okay? Now, let's move on to GloRilla. We need to talk about GloRilla, and mind you, this wasn't something I wanted to talk about, but like, look, you've got to mix in. Gotcha. You've got to mix in celebrities when you're talking about Black stories, Black excellence, Black existence in general, because they won't get views unless you talk about what's going on in the celebrity world. So we're going to talk about GloRilla. So I got like three other topics that we need to talk about. We're going to be backstage members only. I ain't even going to hold you. We're going to be backstage really letting loose as soon as I end this video. So actually, I'm trying to end this video as quick as I can. But we're going to talk about GloRilla in our health as Black women based on our experiences. So those are the last two things that we're going to end up referencing. Okay. So I am really, really anxious to speak about those things with you all. I'm trying to read y'all comments. Some of y'all are really off the hook. Okay. All right. Let's get into our last two subjects before we go backstage.
I know that's not you. Sitting back there talking about supporting Black businesses and they never really doing it. Get it together. This is for the people who really support Black businesses. Head over to pleasebeeasy.com when you get a chance and help keep the Black dollar in the community for longer than the 6-hour statistics show. But Be More Like Us is a unisex clothing line, so it's got something for you, your honey, and even the kids. I know the fellas head over there because the new releases color coordinate with the new sneaker drops. So sneakerheads, you're welcome. They even have masks over on pleasebeeasy.com. So make sure the first thing you do when you finish this video is head to pleasebeeasy.com for the latest, freshest, unapologetically Black-owned fashion for men, women, and kids.
First of all, that commercial had no business being that short. Let's start there. Okay. But that commercial had no business. So yeah, let me go ahead and cut down some of my topics and then go backstage. Okay, so make sure you hit thumbs up if you haven't already.
Hey, thanks for letting me keep you connected and in the know with what's happening in the Black world. Don't forget to smash on that like button for support and for more Black news.
Okay, so here's one of the last things that I wanted to speak about is GloRilla. And I typically don't speak about artists in the behavior of smaller artists, but I did feel like, girl, like, what? She done fired her damn security guard because her security guard didn't want to beat up somebody that she wanted to beat up. And that's crazy to me. Let's take a look.
Rolex on your wrist, a plain giant. That's what cowards do. So all that extra shit, man, I don't want to hear none of this shit. I got her ass safe. She making videos, ain't it? She can talk to y'all, can you know what I'm saying? Can she talk to me? You know what I'm saying? You alive. God led her. We out there, motherfucker. I did my job. It's complete. You know what I'm saying? But far as go over there and whoop that motherfucker like that, nah, I ain't that type of I ain't even go over there and whoop nobody. But they in front of our face and they did this shit, mama whooped the brakes off there. They're gonna be sleep, snoring, ugly. Her wig would have been all of them. They would have mopped the floor with that motherfucker the next day. You know what I'm saying? If she would threw that wall in our face, you know what I'm saying? But she didn't do that. She did this shit from the side, from the crowd. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna go back and whoop nobody. You know why? It's called assault charge. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna lose my motherfucking license. You.
Okay. So he was still talking, and the fact remains, okay, when it comes to his page and in general and whatever's going on, we all know that sometimes a celebrity, let alone a rapper, will sometimes sick their security on somebody who is either inconveniencing them or disrespecting them or does something that the entertainer just doesn't like. And so we heard what this man had to say. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Have we not? Cardi doing community service. Which, do y'all know what Cardi is doing community service for? Don't worry, I'll wait. To be a black man, and don't get me wrong, I've seen the video. I've seen the video of the girl like threw water on GloRilla. Some people in some angles and narratives even say the girl spit on GloRilla. Whether it was water, spit, both whatever the case is, this black man will be risking his life to go back and bank or beat up said individual. I guess she thought she hired hood niggas, and maybe he got hood nigga talk. Let's go back and look. But you know what? Before we go back and look, here's what I'll say. Kudos to him. Kudos to this man who decided that his freedom and his record was worth more than the charges that woman would have definitely 100% pressed on him and GloRilla, but he would have caught most of the heat. Kudos to him. I say kudos to him. Cardi B the type to send her security go back and beat up. And it wasn't even about something. I could see like if a crew like killed your brother or something like that. Like I could totally see. But somebody threw water on you.
Rolex on your wrist, a plain giant. That's what cowards do. So all that extra shit, man, I don't want to hear none of this shit. I got her ass safe. She making videos, ain't it? She can talk to y'all, can you know what I'm saying? Can she talk to me? You know what I'm saying? You alive. God led her. We out there, motherfucker. I did my job. It's complete. You know what I'm saying? But far as go over there and whoop that motherfucker like that, nah, I ain't that type of I ain't even go over there and whoop nobody. But they in front of our face, and they did this shit, mama whoop the brakes off there. They're gonna be sleep, snoring, ugly. Her wig would have been all of them. They would have mopped the floor with that motherfucker the next day. You know what I'm saying? If she would have threw that wall in our face, you know what I'm saying? But she didn't do that. She did this shit from the side, from the crowd. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna go back and whoop nobody. You know why? That's called assault charge. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna lose my motherfucking license.
This man valued his life, his livelihood, his license to be a bodyguard, right? He values all of that more than GloRilla saying, up tomorrow. And he values all of that more than whatever the fuck GloRilla talking about. Let me see. I got a Cash App that I'm trying to get to. Why I don't see it? I know I got the Cash App. Oh. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Thank you for helping me start off my B-Day right Pisces season. Love your channel. Okay. Happy birthday. Talking about keep up to your work. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Okay? Happy birthday. My grandmother called me every year, and I be, whether I'm woke or she leave it on my, she be like, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. And I feel like it's so corny, but I'm about to do it to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Baltimore, I can't see you. Where you at?
Yo, telling me with this. I can't help. I can't help. Robert. I can't help. You're killing me, man. This ain't not about music. I'm trying to have a relationship with my kids, and I can't do it. Y'all just don't want to believe the truth. You don't want to believe it.
At this point, we briefly pause the interview to give Kelly a moment.
Man, y'all killing me with this. Y'all killing me with this. Y'all killing me with this. Y'all killing me. Y'all trying to kill me. Y'all killing me with this. Y'all killing me with this. Y'all killing me with this. Y'all killing me with killing me, man. Trying to kill me. Killing me, man. Trying to kill me. Y'all want to believe it. Trying to kill me. Killing me, man. Trying to kill me. I hope this camera keep going. Stupid R. Kelly. Fight for my life. Stupid R. Kelly. Do it. Stupid R. Kelly. Fight for my life. Stupid R. Kelly. Do it.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. I hope you have a good one, honestly. But when we talk about GloRilla in particular and her security guard and
Rolex on your wrist, a plain giant. That's what cowards do. So all that extra man, I don't want to hear none of this shit. I got her ass safe. She making videos, ain't it? She can talk to y'all, can it? You know what I'm saying? Can she talk to me? You know what I'm saying? You alive. God led her. We out there, motherfucker. I did my job. It's complete. You know what I'm saying? But far as go over there and whoop that motherfucker like that, nah, I ain't that type of I ain't even go there and whoop nobody. But they in front of our face, and they did this shit, mama whoop the brakes off there. They're gonna be sleep, snoring, ugly. Her wig would have been all of them. They would have mopped the floor with that motherfucker the next day. You know what I'm saying? If she would have threw that wall in our face, you know what I'm saying? But she didn't do that. She did this shit from the side, from the crowd. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna go back and whoop nobody. You know why? That's called assault charge. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna lose my motherfucking license. You.
So I think GloRilla is low vibrational as fuck, but have we learned nothing from Cardi? Remember when Cardi sent her like security to beat up some people who Offset had cheated with? Can't remember, Bad Bunny, or I can't remember the name of the people. But Cardi is known for sending her security to go like beat up people for whatever reason. Offset, cheating, or whatever kid. Look at the influence that she has over the black culture, and she's not black. I'll say it again, she's not black. Cardi has more of a negative influence than a positive one. And I'm being more lighthearted with my approach, because it's like, what's the point of me being upset? But Cardi is not black, but she has. Okay, so Cardi's not black, right? But her influence over the black community is more what? Would you say her influence over the black community, right, is more positive than negative? Are people responsible for their actions? Absolutely, but Cardi, she panders and she taps into black cultures and their tendencies and what we do on a repetitive basis. She taps into that very easily. Like, she taps into it, and you know, you got some influencers that are beauty influencers and soft life influencers. Yeah, they influence. Like, can we be upset, or could we pick it apart based off of the politics and what they choose to and not to do, and da da da? But if we're talking about like influencers and really tapping in, Cardi is black when it's conveyed. I'm Afro Latina. You're not Afro Latina. I think it's her mom who's Dominican. Your mom's a white Dominican. Cardi black when it's time for her to make money. When it's time to resonate with our culture and our people, she's there, but it's not a lifestyle for her. And so this, I want you to beat up this person that made me feel small this one time. And oh shit, you ain't gonna beat him up with any, you fired. Like, damn. Who gave you this idea? Because I don't know. I can think of this one person who like had this same type of behavior. And at the end of the day, even if she wasn't black, if her influence was positive, we would be more accepting of her in general. But considering the fact that everything is about being violent, being illiterate, like, yeah, let me get my security to fuck y'all up, because y'all fucking crossed me and y'all made me feel like fuck y'all bitches. So I'm gonna have my people beat you up. somebody point me out the positive representation, or even if she wanted to pretend that she was black, where does that lie? I'm just saying. I don't know. It is what it is. Again, as I stated earlier, kudos to the man who decided that his freedom was worth more than the charges that he would have gotten, or just like the quote unquote command from his boss, who was GloRilla. He decided that his freedom and his track record was worth more than beating up a woman who threw water on like GloRilla that day. And I remember that video. Excuse me. I remember that day. I remember that woman. That woman was out of line. Should she have thrown water on GloRilla? No. And some people even say that that woman had like spat on her or whatever. But does that mean that her GloRilla's security guard should go assault said woman, do whatever the case is, and catch charges for executing whatever type of like violent, vengeful violence, payback or whatever? Like, no. Like his freedom, his life, his kids, whatever is going on in his world is worth more than GloRilla's selfish thing. But hearing about how Cardi has sicked people, sicked her staff to beat up people because she's had a couple of unfortunate situations and circumstances. It's not a good representation at all. It's not a good representation at all. At all, at all, at all. But listen. I love you all so, so much. I hope you all have a good day. It is the weekend. We have today, which is Saturday, and then Sunday. So we still got some time left in the weekend. And then we're back to work, doing whatever we need to do on Mondays. And I will see you a few times between now and then. So yeah, I'm tired, but I do think we might go backstage. I think we might go backstage. I think we're gonna go backstage, and we're going to talk about Jaguar Riot as we need to. So I do think that we're gonna go backstage. But I also want to talk to my video editor to understand what for a couple of different reasons. I love you all so much. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this. Okay. So I'm going to play this, and this is an ode to my channel members to start, but everybody who supports me, but specifically the channel members. I do want to let you know that what I'm doing right now is I'm looking for a therapist, not a counselor, either a therapist or a psychiatrist to come on and talk to myself and people of the audience about their issues. So I want people to feel like they're getting like a free therapy session, but not like a therapy session might be like an hour long, right? But I want you all to have access to a therapist to understand the value in it. So I want to bring one up where you're able to spend like 15-minute intervals with a therapist. So I want you all to understand that that's something that I'm offering, but it's definitely going to be for members only. Shout out to the channel members. Shout out to the moderators. We'll be right back.
The plainest Jane. This is one of my favorite comments here. She says, I loves me some black, and she said, loves me some black news. She says, is it just me, or does anyone else get tired of seeing people that don't look like them delivering info about them day in and day out?
So wait a minute, you ain't joined the channel yet so that you can access special perks over here with the plainest Jane?
Rolex on your wrist, a plain Jane.
Ooh, watch this. Hey, I'm the plainest Jane. I'm a cultural commentator and informant, and I provide sticky coverage on trending stories, black news, black culture, and everyday topics with a sticky, abstract perspective. So get familiar with the perks. I've carefully curated all of these things, and it's just a little exclusive glaze to amplify the way that you express yourself. So get comfortable, get used to our official emoji over here. That is the pancake stack, because it's always sticky in Hollywood and in real life, and especially when you spend the time over here with the plainest Jane. Like I said, I hope you enjoy the exclusive glaze that I've provided for you to amplify the way you express yourself, and I hope you enjoy the digital vibe. Hey, listen, I always want you to keep it sticky, but be sure to think critically and independently, regardless of what you hear from me or anybody else. But most importantly, I hope that you're feeling all right, and hopefully you've had some time to tackle some of your invisible problems. I know I got a couple of new subscribers, and I just want to say thank y'all. I really do appreciate you. And if you're not quite feeling all right, this channel right here, once you join, it's going to help you kick back and decompress always, but it'll also keep you in the know with what's happening with the best black news, celebrity entertainment, and a splash of controversy. So again, get comfortable. The first drink is on me, all right? Act like you got some sense, and I'll see you around. But don't forget to keep it sticky 24/7 by following me on Instagram, but hit that notification bell so that you always know when I upload and you get your dose of syrup first. Now, with all that stickiness being said, the most important thing I want you to remember about this neck of the woods and the plainest Jane is Black Lives Matter. And if you don't agree,
buy pumpkin, buy pumpkin. That would take you out. I don't play that shit.
Now you gotta go for real.
It's just that simple. Hey, look, whether you join or not, I do want you to stay beautiful, black, and blessed. And just know I appreciate your support. I'm your girl, the plainest Jane. And let's see what's happening in these virtual streets. You ready? All right now. This could be a crazy ride. I'm warning you now. What up and welcome back. So we are here, and listen, it's time to go. It's time to go, and I appreciate all of you all being here. It means a lot, especially like I feel some type of way when I have like 200 or more of y'all here, and there were like over 200 of you all here earlier, and it's like literally 5:30 in the morning over here in Baltimore. Like, y'all are mad wild for being up with me. Like, mad wild. And I appreciate y'all, especially my moderators, especially my video editor, which I'm about to video call as soon as I end this video.
And I appreciate, somebody said I can't find the join button. I'm on both the app and the website, but I can't find the join button. The link is in the description box. I wish it was a different. Maybe if you send me an email, Almighty Mac, send me an email or a DM, and maybe I'll be able to assist you with joining the community so that we can be backstage. Okay. But I think that this has been a great show. It's definitely time to go, though. It's definitely time to go. I had some other things in store for you all, but honestly, it's late. It's been 3 hours. I don't really like going over the 3-hour mark. It makes me feel like I've been lollygagging with other topics. And while people do appreciate kicking it with me when I'm live, I'm not finna keep going once I reach the 3-hour mark. My whole hope is that when I can do videos, I can be like 2 hours or less and be done. And sometimes they go longer than that, but I'm always trying to create. Some people enjoy the long form streams, and that's okay. But yeah, it's just been a little bit too long, so we need to go. And yeah, the link is pinned to the top of the chat box. The link is in the description box if you aren't able to find it. But I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. Okay. We will be live this weekend. Let me see what this is, Friday. So we got like Saturday, we got Sunday. And I'm excited to talk to you all this weekend. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Look, I'm hoping that y'all subscribe, and at the very least, thumbs up or down, because either way, I really do appreciate it. Like, even if you hit thumbs down, look, I appreciate it. But you also want to make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of the celebrity or trending syrup, because you know things are always sticky in Hollywood and in real life. And when I am giving my Black news or celebrity entertainment, it's syrup. Sometimes it's sticky, sometimes it's bland, sometimes it's boring. Depends on what it is or what the day is. But listen, drop some pancakes down below. I'm going to catch you all in the next video. Luckily, nobody got out of line, so I didn't have to go run and get Tyra Banks on y'all. But I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. I'm tired. I need to talk to my video editor so that we can discuss what we're chopping up in this video. I love you all so much, and I will see you all soon in a live video or backstage with members only content. Okay, I'm gonna catch y'all next time. Deuces.
But that's it. If you want to catch more of my commentary on Black culture or vital and trending information, be sure to subscribe by hitting that little circle in the middle of the screen, or I'll catch you in one of these rectangles to the right in another video. I'll see you there.